it was really funny. He always had something like that to say, and then and he was also like he had the biggest country accent out of everyone in the room. Like he was the worst with it, but it was really funny because every time he spoke, it was just funny.
Yeah, he would just have.
He would always put
country words.
He would
Country
always
words,
put
that's
some
what
of
it
his country words. Yeah, he would always find a way to put it in a funny fashion, and it was kind of sad because he like moved away at some point when we didn't have him again, but man, you could just look at him and be like, literally bottom of Texas. Like, that's where he's from. You could see it in him. And but no, he was passionate about his I think he played saxophone or something. I forgot. I honestly forgot. But yeah, no, he was passionate about it. At least there was that.
That's good. That's always good.
That's good.
What about what was he talking about when he said dilly dabber?
I think he was referring to the instruments.
What did he say?
Like he's like, well, we need our dilly dabber. And then there's my friend Richard in the 6th grade who everything to him was a deal. Can you go get that deal from there? What's that deal over there?
I always say chingus. That's my thing. Chingus.
And I literally like, and then he started making me do it. He would say it so much that I started doing it, and I couldn't think of anything. Like everything was a deal to me something, and I couldn't think of a better.
Hey, so that deal. Go get that deal.
Yeah,
That thing.
it was awful. He gave me his language violence.
Okay. Hi, this is Guru Brando, your host of Positively Entertaining Conversations with me and sometimes curious guests. Today it's cute. We are going to talk about how teens communicate, and more specifically, how Quentin communicates. Quentin. Teenagers. They don't communicate very well. Why do you think that is?
Because they feel that everyone's out to get them, so they have to hide their feelings.
Oh, yeah. I felt that way as a teen. How do you communicate with us when you're feeling that way? When you don't want to communicate with us?
Usually angry.
So would you say more passive aggressively?
No, I wouldn't even like hint at it in that fashion.
Do you think that a lot of teens are passive aggressive?
Yeah, definitely.
So when you want to, say for instance, go out and do something with your friends, and you come and you say, hey, can I go do this with my friends? And I go, did you do your homework and chores? What is your typical response?
Probably a sigh or a groan.
Or, yeah.
And if I did it, then that. And if I didn't, then that.
Then the sigh or the groan.
No, actually just that both times.
Yeah. That's the passive aggressive type teenage behavior that we talked about. When it comes down to a serious aspect of life, though, and you're feeling overwhelmed, or in most recently your case, identifying as queer, not sure how to talk to us about it. What was that initial thought of, this is a serious thing and I need to communicate it with someone?
Well, it was never really much of a serious thing with me to begin with. Like, it was never really like that dramatic. Since I knew you guys wouldn't have a problem with it, and so
You are very lucky.
yeah,
Super lucky.
and so it was not that big of an issue.
When some of your friends have had to communicate that with their parents, are they comfortable doing it?
Nope.
So then you know that if they can't talk about that at home and they stay secret, that affects their behaviors. And it affects our behaviors because every single thought that we have manifests in behavior. It doesn't matter if the thought is good or bad. At some point, somehow, directly or indirectly, that thought manifests. And so, if you are carrying around a burden like that on your shoulders, saying that I don't know who I am, or I don't know how I identify, or even what my preference is, and you're carrying that around and you're trying to figure out how to talk about it, the best policy is honesty, right?
Yeah.
What if you don't trust the people that you're with? What if you have no one you can actually trust?
Gotta find someone.
And if you
There's another
don't,
way.
you walk around exhibiting some passive aggressive type behavior, don't you? Can you look at some of the people that you know right now that behave passive aggressively and identify what issue they may have in their lives, or they may be having?
It's primarily denial.
Okay, so non-acceptance of themselves.
Yeah.
We've both been there. So we can easily see that in other people. What do you tell those people? Do you
I
talk
tell them,
to them?
I ask them, are you being true with yourself right now? And, you know, I pointed out, I say, hey, there's some things that really point to this. You know, it's kind of like the dog that barks the loudest is the most afraid.
Yeah. And so you can simply say, have you explored this, or are you feeling that? And then you can follow it up with, hey, I know kind of what you're going through, right? Do you find yourself in that situation?
Yeah, I do right now.
And it makes you appreciate the fact that you can talk to us, right? Not
Yeah.
just about that issue, but about other things, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What are some other things that you feel are hard for teens to communicate with their parents?
Anything involving significant others or academics.
Academics is a big one for you, especially, isn't it? So when I ask you if you've done your homework, what's your answer or your passive aggressive behavior?
Well, you want the red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, and it's probably that way for more than you. What is your advice to parents to follow through with their teens, to communicate with their teens?
Never denounce what they say. Take it into consideration, and then if it's wrong or unhealthy, educate them otherwise.
So,
Give evidence and examples throughout your life.
So you need to make sure your kids are well informed.
Yeah.
Okay, I and mom did not inform y'all very well for a long time. And once we did, and it opened up avenues for us just to be genuine, you then could feel more genuine in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that before mom and I were so free and open about things that you were struggling?
Yeah, I was kind of in the dark about a lot of things, and I didn't see you two as parents. I just saw you two as someone that would just get me in trouble over and over again.
The authority.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of teens feel that way, don't you?
Yeah, that's the entire stereotype.
So just make sure as a parent that we're not always the bad guy.
Yeah.
So we got to mix it up a little.
Not here to be our friend, but not exactly here to be our enemy. We're not out to get you. They say, at least.
And then
that's what mom says. I mean.
Yeah. And then the biggest thing would be to make sure that you're honest with your teens.
Yeah, because practice what you preach. Otherwise, they're not gonna practice that either.
Yeah, and like I have my things, mom has her things.
I mean, it's kind of like that in general. Like not just with teens, because you got a guy who's a massive douchebag, right? But in in a moment of desperation, you actually just help him anyway. That'll like humble him.
True. Yeah.
That'll be like, I just spent the last month just crapping on everything you like, and then you help me anyway. And so they kind of go through that thought process.
What's one of those examples that happened to you?
I have a friend who's like that, and he's very private about his personal life. But I stuck by him anyway because most of the time I would be able to point out the fact that what he's saying is just emotionally charged and has no weight.
Oh, good.
And so I kept calling him out each time, and and it was weird because he was jealous of me, uh, and so was denouncing me.
That's that passive aggressive.
And I noticed that, and I waited a bit just to confirm if that's actually what it was, and everything I would do, he would criticize, and it would be like oddly specific things too. And at some point I pointed out, hey, are you jealous? And
so you just asked flat out. You're like, I'm not gonna dance this dance.
I said, yeah, you look extremely like you look like you're extremely jealous right now. Always questioning everything I do, and yeah, they gave up the act because I did it in a kind way because I was still kind to him back even though he was always trashing on me. So it's that thing that kind of unlocked that door. It's just being kind makes him want to open more.
So what you actually are describing is, that self-awareness.
Playing the good cop.
Right, yeah. But you have to have some self-awareness as a teen in order to actually communicate effectively. But
fighting fire with fire doesn't do anything.
Yeah. You also, as a parent, you have to have self-awareness. And unfortunately, there are a lot of adults that have no self-awareness or little self-awareness.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, and it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. It just means that as a parent, you need to communicate better with your kids. And the first step in that is listening.
Yeah.
That's sort of what you're talking about.
Those are the kinds of dudes that blast down the road in their Honda Civic at 3 a.m. It's really loud.
Is that a passive aggressive way of saying that you think people
that stereotype?
Yeah,
the inconsiderate adult type.
Yeah. That was a great passive aggressive example, right there.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming huge. It's gonna become a bit of a meme for a while.
It's pretty epic that your entire life, even when you were like 7 and 8, you complained about teenagers.
Oh my god!
And
yeah,
then,
I hated teenagers.
I know.
I was like, they're so disobedient. They suck. Oh my god! Yeah.
You literally told me you thought that teens just vandalize stuff.
Yeah,
that was all you thought. You were like, teenagers vandalize everything.
The most I mean,
and
true,
and when we moved to Germany and there wasn't any vandalism anywhere.
It
area,
was very rare.
Yeah, you asked me
and
if
they
there
would
were teenagers.
They would just vandalize the wood around the trash area.
And that was just on post. I'm talking about whenever we were out on the economy. You were like, are there teenagers anywhere? And I was like, yes, why? And you said, there's no vandalism. And there's no litter. You thought that teens did all that. And, I have no idea why you thought that.
Inconsiderate adults.
I have no idea why you blame teenagers for everything because we didn't. God, as young adults, Mom and I still acted like
You see,
teens.
You know what scarred me? You know what did it for me? Roderick.
Oh
Roderick
my God!
Roderick did it for me.
And then Buzz on Home Alone.
Oh my god, yeah.
Buzz was a douchey teenager too.
And so I don't know. It's just this idea that got in my head, and no one ever told me otherwise. Like, who brings them in conversation? And so it just kind of it just festered for a while, and suddenly everything was a teenager's fault.
And then when you became a teen, you hated yourself for being a teen. You did. You hated yourself for a long time for being a teen. And I hated myself for a long time for being an adult. We felt like sellouts. We felt like, we were doing the thing that annoyed us the most. And we only were annoyed with it because we didn't understand it.
Oh my God. I've been there a lot.
Yeah. Name one time.
I'm good.
You don't want to talk about that on camera, huh? It's funny talking about maturing. Would you say the passive aggressive type communication in adults and teens? Would you say that that's just a lack of maturity?
Yeah, that's what it is. In the
Okay,
end. That's what
so it's
all leads
obvious,
up to.
but it's obviously not chronological. It's not intellectual necessarily. You know, it would be emotional maturity.
Yeah.
So if you have a parent who is on your level, who is not very emotionally mature, they may use quite a bit of sarcasm and they may use a lot of passive aggressive type behaviors to gain your
Yeah, and either they'll be
attention.
either they'll be buddy buddy with their kid that's equally as messed up, or they'll be sworn enemies. There's like no in between with that.
So
type.
what are we? Yeah.
What?
Wow. What are we?
See, you're not quite that kind of adult, so.
Look, I am wearing a zip-up sweater. See
Yeah,
this?
and you're also a life coach.
Apparently, I'm old now. That's what I hear.
Yeah, because you wear them golf caps without the puffballs on them.
My driving hat.
Your driving hat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I always wear a hat.
like an Irishman. You could just get like one of them one pipes now. Huh?
I have a couple wooden pipes. They're not for
Well, look
tobacco,
at you, Popeye.
though.
Look at you, Popeye. Yeah.
Okay, so
You'd be the chilled out Popeye.
I think that we covered exactly what I wanted to cover with you. Just the passive aggressive communication, how not to use it.
Yeah.
When not to use it, which is literally all the time.
Yeah.
Don't use it. Don't use passive aggressive statements. Don't use passive aggressive behavior. Not when trying to communicate something serious, especially with your team. Always listen.
Yeah, especially because it just doesn't get anything solved, and not only is it one side being angsty, now it's two sides.
Yeah, and there's been
and then
times,
they're fighting over who's being angstier.
There was times when my mom and I, we were right there. We were yelling and screaming and like wanting to go fisticuffs in the driveway. And that's, whenever I was 16 and 17. I'd already moved away from home and came back. A couple of those times I was married the first time. And it's just a situation where my mom should have been mature enough, to handle it emotionally. But she had her own issues, and I should have been mature enough to handle my own emotions, but I wasn't, because here I was in the closet.
Yeah.
Only with them, and that's the thing. I did not get along with the people that I had to hide my genuine self from. And it's just because I was so jealous that they could be genuine, and I couldn't. And, you were talking about your friend, exhibiting some jealousy, and that manifested in the passive aggressive type comments, criticisms, and things like that, insults.
Yeah.
That's number one, passive aggressive behavior. Well, we covered all that stuff. I feel good about our conversation.
Yeah, wasn't that bad this time.
Yeah, a little lazy, but that's okay. I think we got the point across. And next episode, we are going to go into more assertive communication. And in order to talk about assertive communication, we have to talk about aggressive and passive communication. And I'm hoping to do that with Beth. So we'll see if Beth will be on the next episode with us, or with me.
The camera, it's hardly picking up your face. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Need better lighting.
Oh, see? I'm beautiful. Get the beard. Anywho, so next episode, we'll be talking to Beth. And she is going to dime me out about how aggressive I used to be. Not just with communication,
I'll
but
dime you out right here and now.
With my behaviors. No diming me out. I don't even like you. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Q, for being here. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I got nothing more. My brain is out of words.
You need more Dairy Queen? Okay, guys. Thank you! Okay, so Q, who are we like? Because, like, if you think about when you compare parents with teens, you've got what you said which
You're
is
just like your father. You're just like your mother.
yeah, you've got that kind of situation, and you've got the dads who are super douches and the kids that are super douchey with them, so they're like teammates, so they're the corruptors, and then you have the ones that are on the opposite end that totally don't get along at all.
Yeah.
So who are we? Do we get along most of the time?
Generally, yeah.
Are we? Do we play too much?
No, not
You
too
don't
much.
think so?
No, when it's needed.
As far as just
We
comparing our relationship to the majority of your friends and their dads.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
But do they act as dumb as we act? Well, okay. One of the questions is, I guess one of the comments is probably most of them don't medicate together, so we've got that going for us.
We act dumb, but in like non-serious situations. But like,
how serious is our life, though? Really? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, how serious is our life?
Right now, it's not.
We are pretty damn lucky. Thank goodness, COVID hasn't ravished our family, so that's one good thing. We have had members that have had it, but they've recovered pretty easily. Not in this household, but out of state.
Yeah.
And I think we'd be like Batman and Robin. Because, Grandpa and I are like, he's Weed Man and I'm Bud. His superhero costume.
That was awesome.
That was the greatest of the great. Well, because, he's never ever dressed up.
Yeah.
And for me, he dressed up. He dressed up for
me. That's a pretty good milestone.
Yeah. Now, he set that bar really, really high, so I don't know what the hell I'm going to do for you. How could I impress you? What's the one thing you can bank that I will never do? And if you say lick a toilet seat, you are absolutely right.
Really?
I would never. Did you just say I've done way grosser things? Okay.
Things that sometimes I think about in class and I get nauseous.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm afraid to even ask. I don't want it on.
It's the cereal thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna try not to think about it now.
Okay, well the cereal thing was not my fault. Okay. Alright. So if you think about who we are in relation to like a team, are we like a together team? Are we pretty good at running the race together? The rat race. Are we good at running the rat race together? Why? Because we didn't used to be.
Yeah, I think we do fine.
I used to be really annoyed with you a lot. But that's when you were totally unaware.
Yeah.
Oblivious. Hey, do you remember when you used to not want to flush the toilet?
Yeah. I just like blew it up and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and like you would not do it, so you would leave notes. You left a note for me. You were like, I just wrecked this toilet. I'm not flushing it. I don't know who is, but it's not me. I was like, oh God. So yeah, of course I didn't flush it. I made Mom flush it. There was no way I was touching it. That's what we are. We're both buds. We're the Bud Patrol.
Oh my God.
I don't know. What are we? If you don't come up with something, I'm just gonna keep guessing.
Bud Patrol is. I can't really beat that one.
It's pretty accurate, isn't it? It really is. Wow. So if we had to do a couple's costume for any occasion, what would it be? Oh God.
Popular mentally disabled characters.
No, I say it would be
like
Snoop
Jeffy.
Dogg and Martha.
I was gonna say like Jeffy and like what's another one?
I don't know. I wouldn't go that route. That's not really mine. No, that's not really my thing. Oh, I could be, tree and you can be an apple.
That's so lame.
Hey, the lamer the better. There's no
Yeah,
such
and
thing
what,
as
Alex
bad
and Lucas
press,
are like
bro.
Adam and Eve now?
Ew, no. They would be Chippendale.
I forgot this guy existed.
Oh my god, that's such a good cartoon.
What about, oh man, the two, you remember on the SpongeBob movie?
You know we're all SpongeBob characters.
You remember on the original SpongeBob movie, the good one, they were rolling onto Shell City, and they're those two hicks at the gas station, and they're on the burger car.
Yes.
And the hicks are laughing at them.
Do you remember when we were in Germany?
Those two.
Do you
It's like Grandpa and Jules.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
It's a great couple.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. Do you remember when we were in Germany and SpongeBob was in German and he laughed like that epically creepy laugh? Do you remember that German SpongeBob laugh? Oh, you'll have to look it up. And as soon as you hear it,
We need to oh my god, we need to have stuff at the ready that we can bring up.
the German SpongeBob.
Yeah, we can bring it up right now, and then you can drag that onto that monitor, and then you can show it.
But I don't want to.
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
Well, good, because I'm not going to. Okay, so can you identify all of us in SpongeBob accurately? Let's see.
I don't think there's.
We are all in SpongeBob.
Well, SpongeBob is so unique that I can't
Just
even.
like our family. Let's
I
see, two transparent.
yeah, but I
a
can't
queer
identify
boy,
a single person
two
to SpongeBob.
autistic, three autistics. We are very diverse.
SpongeBob is like
Okay,
masculine but
who am I?
feminine, like mature but a kid. Like
Who-
it's weird.
It's very vague, and you can take a bath underwater. And
Yeah,
stuff.
but yet still very unique at the same time. It's hard to describe.
So we would probably be more like Gumball. And
Oh yeah.
So who are we?
I don't think you're
Gumball?
quite like Richard, but
You're damn right I'm not like Richard.
like I mean, he's the only slot there.
Okay, but look, that's wrong. I'm the fish. What's the fish?
The fish? I don't know the fish's name.
The fish.
Oh, Darwin.
Darwin. Oh,
You
see?
mean Darwin?
Yeah.
The little black kid. That's what he is. That's what he's the adopted fish. He's voiced by a little black kid.
Wow, my mind is just blown.
I don't know.
Out of all the things, that's the one thing you picked out. It's a fish.
Yeah, it's a fish. Voiced by black kid.
Oh boy, we're done. Goodness.
Anais is a weird name too.
What?
Anais. That's the girl's name. The little baby. The pink rabbit. That's not Richard.
Okay, I don't actually know these daggone characters.
And that kind of just takes away your credibility, doesn't it?
It totally does. Look, I only watch what Mom watches, and that's what she watches.
We don't watch as much as her, apparently.
Yeah, she does like all of them.
I bet.
And like they're her friends. Like they got personalities. I'm more Foster's also.
Oh yeah, you like the kind of classic new gen. There's like old, and then
Oh
there's
my
new,
god, you can't just
and
like.
there's just like, but it's like when the new stuff was first starting, so it was just like it was a whole new different aesthetic. What?
I don't even know
don't
what
even
you're
look.
talking about.
Like there's old stuff, right? Like old Mickey Mouse and
like
Pepe Le
Steamboat
Pew.
Willie.
Steamboat
Okay,
Willie.
I watch Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah,
I still watch it.
but it's like the older
I
stuff
have
like
the
that.
Boomerang channel just so I can watch
Yeah,
the
I know.
Smurfs.
I like Smurfs. They got annoying.
What did you just say?
They got annoying. They got annoying.
Cut. We're done.
Oh my god.